President Trump says that both Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire and hostage release deal. He made the announcement yesterday in a post on social media. In it, he says all remaining hostages held by Hamas will be released. He also says Israel will pull its troops back behind an agreed-upon line. Israel's ambassador to the United States said last night that a 72-hour clock to release the living hostages will begin once the Israeli cabinet meets later this morning to approve the deal. On social media, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the news a, quote, diplomatic success and a national and moral victory for the state of Israel. Joining us now from Tel Aviv, lead world news presenter for Sky News, Yalda Hakim. Yalda, what's the mood there in Israel right now?
Mika, it's not often that we feel optimistic about the situation in this region, certainly not after the bloodshed and the violence of the last 2 years since the October 7 attacks, when 1,200 Israelis were killed here, 251 taken hostage. And of course, Israel's assault on Gaza, leaving 67,000 Palestinians dead. But in the last 24 hours, some good news, some positive news. It is historic. It is a historic moment. And although in this region, and certainly in this war of the last 2 years, we feel like we've been here before, this time it's different. And this morning I woke up to cheers and joy, hope across this country, because they were being told that those 20 living hostages were going to come home. The people in Gaza were being told that once the ceasefire deal had been ratified by the Israeli Security Cabinet, that there would be a ceasefire in effect in Gaza, which means that the bombs would stop and those hostages could be released. We'd see aid going into Gaza. So a really momentous occasion that frankly started late last night for us, where our sources who have knowledge or had knowledge of those talks in Egypt were telling us, stand by, this is going to happen any minute now. And of course, we saw those remarkable scenes with Marco Rubio handing Donald Trump that note and informing him that that ceasefire deal was very close. So since last night, we've been very, very cautiously optimistic, but this morning, a lot of hope. And frankly, it's not often in this region that both sides are celebrating the same thing, and that's what it's felt like today.
Lead world news presenter for Sky News, Yalda Hakim, thank you for that report on what's going on the ground.
Thanks so much, Yalda. David Ignatius, how did we get here?
So, Joe, just hearing those words, cheers and hope, remind you of how significant this moment is. We got here starting on October 7, 2023, with one of the bloodiest nightmares, certainly in my life, something that recalled the Holocaust. Vicious killings of Israelis by Hamas terrorists who came across the Gaza fence. And then we had 2 years of increasingly aggressive, sometimes savage Israeli retaliation in Gaza, then spreading to Lebanon, an attack on Hezbollah in Lebanon that was successful, taking away Hezbollah's main power, an attack on Iran itself. So in that period, Bibi Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, although from the beginning he was blamed for Hamas's war in Gaza, blamed for not being prepared, kept in the fight and won battle after battle. And Israel today is really the unchallenged military leader of the region. But what it couldn't seem to do was to end the war. And that's where President Donald Trump came in decisively and said to Israel in the last weeks, this war must end. it's time for a deal that at last begins to think about the day after in Gaza, something Netanyahu hadn't been willing to deal with. Put together a plan for transition in Gaza, ruled neither by Hamas nor by Israel. Got all of the Arab countries and major countries in Europe together to back this transition plan and an international force that will hopefully keep order. There's a lot of difficulties still ahead. Hamas has to disarm. That's a key condition of this peace plan. But from everything we know, in the coming hours, the guns will finally go silent after 2 years. The hostages who've been suffering in just terrible misery will begin to come home. Palestinians will be released. And then we'll move into the next phase of planning for a different Gaza. And, you know, based on the optimism, good feeling of this moment, I think there will be a genuine international effort to make that work.
David, it's remarkable that since 1948, for the most part, it seemed to be Israel and the United States, not only on its own against the region, but also sometimes against our closest allies in Europe. I want to read to you where we are today, where foreign ministers are going to be meeting in Paris after the work. And again, as Jonathan O'Meara said, this all started actually in earnest with the bombing of Qatar, where Donald Trump put his foot down and told Netanyahu enough was enough, forced Netanyahu to apologize to Qatar. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff talked to the Qataris during UN week, and they started to come together with this 20-point plan. And this is where it's gotten us right now. Today, meeting in Paris, foreign ministers from Germany, from Spain, from Italy, from the UK, Turkey, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and Jordan. Unthinkable. That would have been unthinkable not so long ago, David, but here we are.
So I think many of us have worried about declining U.S. leadership in the world, an America first approach that often seemed to isolate us from our partners and allies. This morning is a day when we can see the power of American leadership, when the United States takes the lead in putting together a peace plan that nobody else, it seems, could have done, gets the best ideas from every side and pulls them together into a 20-point plan. And then let's be honest, President Trump had the toughness to basically insist to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, this is the time for peace. You must apologize to Qatar for having bombed it. You must agree that you will not annex the West Bank, as so many right-wing Israelis wanted, and you must go forward with this peace plan. So that's what American leadership looks like, and it's no surprise to me that the world is supporting it, lining up to say, basically, thank you.
Jonathan Lemire, what are you hearing from your sources about the deal and any challenges ahead?
Well, as Joe just mentioned, the wheels really got in motion after what happened in Doha. That was when Israel struck there, not even giving the United States a heads up until the missiles were in the air. That really infuriated Trump, Witkoff, Kushner, and the rest. And we saw President Trump, a short time later, when Benjamin Netanyahu came to Israel, demanded an apology and even put a picture of the apology, that phone call to the Qataris from the Oval Office on the White House's website.
Just in case anybody missed it.
Here it is. He apologized. And then going from there, as David mentioned, there are still tripwires ahead. Hamas demilitarizing chief among them. But there is, I'm told, talking to some White House folks even this morning, there's hope here, real optimism. Not a done deal, because it's the Middle East and things can trip up at the last minute. But they do believe that they're on the right track. President Trump is planning, it's not set in stone, but planning to head to Israel this weekend to speak to the Knesset and to oversee sort of the final arrangements of their potentially even being in Israel when the hostages are returned home on Monday. We'll see. This is all still being worked out right now. So for him, a president who's made no secret of his desire for a Nobel Peace Prize, this would certainly be something on the resume. But they're wary enough to know It's not done just yet.
Yeah. Steve, let's talk about the economics of all of this. There have been people who have, of course, been critical of the president and his family's relations with Middle Eastern countries, in the Gulf states in particular. At the same time, the relationships that they've built there through that actually have given them an opening that past American presidents and administrations haven't had. That's not to justify anything, blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking about diplomacy. If most diplomacy in the Middle East is personal, they built those personal relationships, not only for peace, but what comes after.
Yeah, no question. And it obviously goes back to Trump 1.0 and Jared Kushner and the Abraham Accords and everything that he did, which, again, you have to recognize was a significant accomplishment at the time. And then in the period between Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0, they did spend, as you say, an enormous amount of time in the Middle East on business deals that, of course, were unconnected to Trump's position as a former president and a future president. And they did bring those to bear in this situation in a positive way. But yes, it's a little hard to separate the parts of this that led to this or helped lead to this from the parts of this that are pretty seamy and not something that people should ignore. The influence peddling and the personal dealings in the Middle East and all of Trump stuff and Witkoff's family as well, making money off of their position in the political spectrum.
Claire, you serve on the Armed Services Committee. Obviously, the Middle East took up such a massive amount of time and energy for you on that committee, for U.S. presidents in the past. Talk about the significance of what we're hearing so far today, and if this breakthrough, in fact, holds, what does it mean for U.S. foreign policy?
Well, yeah, after 2 years of brutally attacking anything that walked in Gaza, I think Israel's won. And I think, I think we lose credibility as a party, as Democrats, if we do not acknowledge that this is a positive thing that has occurred and that Donald Trump gets some of the credit. There's all kinds of bad things around this that happened, and how Netanyahu conducted himself, and the price that innocent children and civilians paid in this war. But having said all that, I think this is a very positive thing. And what will remain for the United States and our military is, does this lower the temperature across the Middle East? Is this really a breakthrough where Arab nations are going to put aside their differences and come together, and there's going to be a long-lasting peace? Big question marks out there on that. We still have bubbling up even in Pakistan, and as it relates to India, and you have all the Iranian issues. But let's take a moment here. Let's take a beat and be grown up and be rational and credible and say this is a good thing that has happened, and Donald Trump gets some of the credit.